On a positive note, we're gonna finish the show with you. Arsenal won a game of football at the weekend. That's not bad, is it, Matt? It's like, and when they started the season, we were quite worried about them, weren't we? But how do you see Arsenal's season going now that they've managed to string a couple of wins together?
I think it's a big game next weekend against Tottenham. I think it's always a big game anyway, but I think it becomes even bigger. I done a thing with Jamie a couple of weeks ago about the Arsenal-Tottenham game, and I had to sit there and he absolutely rinsed me. It was
he's unbearable.
Yeah, and I had to keep on. He flew out today. He flew out. He didn't. He just said bye. He just literally trapped. But yeah, I think I said even then when Arsenal had lost all 3 games, Tottenham had won all 3. I said there's no way Arsenal will lose this football match, and he was like, I don't see Arsenal losing the game. I think there's a lot of pressure now on Tottenham. I think the game yesterday at the end was a bit like watching an under-10s team playing against a man's team. It was shocking. It was
Spurs, Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think, if you're Harry Kane, you're standing up front thinking, should I have really pushed a little bit harder? Should I have, because at the end of the day, you got to think of your future. It's no point sitting there thinking, I don't want to be disliked. I don't want people to think that I'm ungrateful and all that. He's done an unbelievable job for Tottenham. He needed to move on. And I think if he'd have pushed it, I think people were like, this Harry Kane is the England captain. He's got to think of his future. This lad deserves to win trophies. He's a phenomenal footballer. And I think he should have pushed to get that move. And he wouldn't have become a bad person. I think people would have understood and at the moment when I look at Man City need Harry Kane.
They do, don't they? They need a goal scorer. We were speaking about this earlier on, Ali. Man City registered 1 shot on target the weekend against Southampton. Chelsea, though, went out, got Lukaku, got what they needed. They just look strong, but they look like they haven't hit their best yet, Paul.
No, I mean, there's what I liked about Chelsea yesterday, they were on the rack for about 20 minutes. Tottenham played well. Maybe if Tottenham scored, who knows? But they hung in there, and good teams hang in there. They have a lot of experience in their team as well as good youth where they go, right, let's get through this next 20 minutes. Tottenham cannot keep on playing like they were playing. Yeah. If they were, they'd win the league. And sooner or later, they had to fade. And when they did, they completely dominated the football match. But you look at Tottenham, Man City, they've had 2 games already in the first 5. They haven't scored a goal. I mean, for me, Harry Kane, for me, he's the best centre forward in the league by a distance, and I really mean that. Even though he plays for Tottenham, I do mean that, and I think Man City need to get him. Maybe even if it comes down to January, I think he needs to move on for his career. He needs to sit with his grandchildren at the end in 20, 30 years' time, and they're sitting on his lap, and he goes, "Yeah, I won this, and this." Not yet. At the end of the day, if you stay at Tottenham, you've got to win the Golden Boot. That looks a million miles away as well at the moment.
Yeah, really does. One more question for you, Paul, before we have to let you go. This was being touted around a couple of weeks ago, a World Cup every 2 years. Arsene Wenger, as the brainchild with this in his mind, thinks that this would be a great idea and is trying to get people on board. And there are some sports people, actually, there are some footballers that think it might be a good idea. What do you think?
No. I was fortunate to play in a World Cup. I went to a World Cup, and one of the biggest honours you can have. Keep it at that, the biggest honour.
Yep.
You got to fight for 4 years to make sure that you can get to that World Cup. You've got to qualify. You don't want to get it. Whoever wins the World Cup this time round next year, in 2 years' time, it's going to be the same team again. Yeah. No one's going to get given a chance. In that 4 years' time, there's a 17-year-old kid now sitting out there playing for his academy or the under-23s for his team who has every chance of going to the World Cup after this. And I just think this is an honour. It's the ultimate. Don't get it to playing semi-finals at Wembley, the FA Cup. I mean, you had to win. You had to do something special to play at Wembley before. You played for your country or you played in a cup final. With the World Cup, earn the right to play in the World Cup, earn the right to be one of the best 22 players in your country. And for me, no. I just think, you know what? If I said to Ali now, who won the World Cup in 1986,
yep,
he could tell me. If I said who won the Champions League in 1986, or the old European Cup, I think he'll find it hard to do. It's too quick. Bang, bang, bang. Every 4 years, you become a legend.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.